First of all, congratulations on the release of your brand new album, Trial by Fire, dropping this week. How do you feel now that it's out in ether?
I think the overriding feeling is always relief. I'm sure I speak for other artists that by the time your music kind of gets externalized, by the time it hits the world, you're kind of already mentally, there's already been a shift. You're in and you're in another place. So it's almost like you have to get that out. It's the catharsis. The release is the catharsis for you to be able to be like, okay, now it's out. Cool. The external world will take care of all the rest. Everything's beyond me. What am I on next? You're constantly living in the future as an artist. I'm already thinking, what's next? What am I recording next? What's the next move? So, yeah, relief, catharsis, but also just joy that I could share work with the world.
Are you someone that puts a lot of pressure on yourself in terms of creativity and really trying to break a mold, I suppose? Because I know that I do it. Like, there's a lot of pressure in sort of what we're trying to create. Do you have that same sort of thing where you go through hell trying to create something?
Yeah, I would say so. I think honestly, less so now. Like the longer I've been in music, the less pressure I put on myself because I think I've learned that you can only control what you can control. And when you really sit down in that pressure and really question it, most of it is related to things that are beyond your control. How are people gonna think about this? How will this be received? Is it good enough? All these questions you ask as an artist and battling that self-doubt is beyond your control. All you can do is put your best foot forward. Whatever happens then is nothing to do with you. So I've tried as I've got older and understood myself and my process more to really let go of that pressure and be like, look, all I can do is have integrity in my creative process. Whatever happens from that point on is not really anything to do with me, to be honest.
Cool, cool. You're not a stranger to putting out projects. We had 2021's Flight Mode, and also on Spotify and streaming platforms, we've got In My Own Skin from 2018. One of the sort of habits that I see happen quite a lot is artists ripping their earlier stuff from streaming platforms and elsewhere. And I hate it because I'm like, nah, I want to see that progression. I want to see where you started and the point you're up to now. If there's one thing that you can pinpoint that has changed over time for you and your artistry, what do you think it is?
That's a really good question. And I'm completely with you. I really don't like this whole thing of scrubbing the past and trying to present this new flashy image. Part of the excitement for me of an artist is seeing that journey. When I look at the Tyler, the creators, the Kendricks, the Coles, you can see like the foundation of their work, but you can just see how it gets sharpened and honed as the time goes on. And I can really see that progression with me where I listen to my early stuff and I'm like, I see what I was trying to do there, but now it's different. And I think what has changed is I think the intention behind my writing has changed. I talk about it a lot with my peers, and obviously I live in Marari. We discuss this a lot. Is when I first started making music, I came straight from this essence of just rap. All I cared about was my bars and my punchlines and impressing myself. I didn't really care about the song or what I was trying to say. It was, am I getting these bars off? And I think, yeah, that's self-gratifying. Like it's good to be able to get these punchlines and these similes off. But I think as you grow as an artist, it's like, okay, music is not just about, well, lyricism is like, okay, what's the overriding emotion? What is the song structure? What am I really trying to say here? Can I make something that's catchy? Can I make something that people want to gravitate towards? So my intention is slightly shifted, and still I think because my foundation is so rap heavy, like the raps will always be there, but it's not just rap for the sake of rap now. It's like, okay, I'm either trying to say something thematically or I'm trying to do something with this song, whether it's this emotion or that energy or that vibe. So definitely kind of that shift in, yeah, and not just trying to impress myself with lyrics, but yeah, what am I trying to do here with this song and approaching each song that way, really?
Don't sleep on the bars though, innit? I mean,
Of
tracks like
course, no. I'm a rapper through and through. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to hear bars. Like even if the song's great, like show me something in it. Show me something.
Facts. Facts.
Mm.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are a wearer of many hats. Not only are you sort of pivotal in the mobile music scene here in Wales, you are also the agent of change over at Arts Council Wales. Can you explain in sort of layman's terms, because I'm an idiot and I don't know about anyone else that might possibly be listening, can you explain what that role entails?
Yeah, so to kind of keep it brief, basically the Arts Council of Wales are the main funding body of the arts and culture here in Wales. And they're funded by the National Lottery, so literally the more people play lottery we have, and Welsh government. And then we use that money then to fund artists, arts organizations, events, festivals, venues across all art forms, theatre, music, film, etc., etc. And in that kind of shift that happened, post the death of George Floyd, and obviously I played a role within that with BLM Gwent, Arts Council Wales realized that they hadn't been reaching communities, different communities that aren't white in the way that they would have liked to. And part of their solution to that problem was the creation of this role, which is the Agent for Change role. So the role is centered on, both internal and external. Internally, in terms of how do we change the arts council structures of a organization that's traditionally white, historically racist, pretty middle class, and how do we kind of recruit in a way that brings new lived experience in, and how do we make sure that people are on point with training and understanding the language, the ways of the world, but also externally, how do I connect more with people in the community, give them a helping hand, start building a relationship with them so they can come to us for funding and we can help them on their journeys as well. So it's all about, it's not just kind of looking at ethnically and culturally diverse communities, but I also look at deaf, disabled, neurodivergent. I'm now starting to look at poverty and socioeconomic deprivation. So it's kind of a wide scope in that way. But yeah, I've been in post almost 3 years now. It was originally a 2-year contract. It got extended. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Well, it's a testament to, I think, the work that you've done. Absolutely. I think it's visible throughout Wales. Obviously, there's steps to go. But I think, yeah, it's a testament to the incredible work that you've done, and hopefully we can see it continue. Um, I often see you out of the country. I often see you out of the country more than you're in it. You like a holiday, it seems. Um, are some of those sort of privileges of the job sometimes? Is it
Yeah,
so?
oh no, absolutely, absolutely. It's completely this ain't off my back, if I'm needed somewhere, depending on what it is, they tend to send me because we have an international arm within Arts Council called Wales Arts International. And obviously I have a very good relationship with them. And yeah, at times I've been requested, to speak at different conferences, different places just to kind of spread the work and not just kind of what we're doing. People are really interested in what we're doing here in Wales is what I've learned is we're a small nation, but we hold a lot of weight in terms of our approach to arts and culture, believe it or not, which was a surprise to me because I never felt that way prior to the job. But again, that knowledge has shown me actually there's a lot of people even way further behind than us. So, there's certain legislation and policies here that other countries are really interested in that I've been able to kind of go and spread. But vice versa, a lot of the times I get sent to places in terms of almost like a recon, go out there, connect with who you need to connect to and bring that knowledge back to Wales as well. So that's how I end up getting sent to places. And obviously, a lot of music conferences and festivals happen in certain places. And a lot of the times, because of my background in music, again, I'm the kind of connection that they send out there to try and, yeah, build bridges in that way. So yeah, I am off. I am off for quite a lot, to be fair, which is good. It's good. I can't complain.
Get those air miles in, man. Get those. Yeah, that's great. You touched on him briefly previously, so I just want to throw this in because I mentioned it when we spoke with Mirari on air a couple of weeks ago. You and him are almost like the Keeman Kendrick of the country. That's how it's coming across.
Yeah.
Can we expect in the future a joint project, maybe, or more joint works from you two?
So obviously, I think it's important to contextualize the beef. Prior to Trial by Fire and prior to him dropping Last Cowboy, we were working on a joint project. And I can kind of share some info with that. It was called Sunsets and Suspects, which was actually taken is one of the songs on Trial by Fire, and we really kind of honed in. We had a whole concept, a whole mood board, and it kind of ties in some of the things that are on my solo project and some of this kind of cowboy theme in Marari's project. We were working on something, and we wrote and were in the midst of recording a lot of songs. I'll be real, it fell apart because of me. Um, it was just I had this itch to scratch with Trial by Fire, and it just felt like I can't miss this boat. Like whatever this is, because Trial by Fire was not in my plans. It was a joint project with Marari, and I always intended to do Trial by Fire. But the way I configured the trilogy, because it's part of a trilogy, was Trial by Fire was in my mind the second project. But actually, when I was getting all these ideas and these songs were just coming to me, I was like, no, we start here. Let's start in the aggression. Let's start in the fire and build towards the rest of it. And so I ended up just kind of going down that rabbit hole. Things fell apart with me and Marari in terms of the project, not us personally. And then he kind of then Last Cowboy started molding for him. So there was just that natural kind of divergence. And no love lost, obviously. It's not the kind of thing we take personally. But Marari is Marari is an interesting person because he's very much in a sense in the moment. And once that thing is gone, he can't go back. Whereas I was like, listen, let's both get our shit sorted and go back. He was like, no, like we'll definitely probably do something, but I can't go back to that and that mode, that emotion. We're gonna have to start completely from scratch and go in a new direction, which was frustrating for me because I'm like, some of those songs were like extraordinary, like genuinely like this would have blown the roof off the place. And it's not a lot of them the world probably will never hear, but obviously we've been creeping some things, but I will say I think this year we won't drop a project. I think now I understand it. I've always been a project man. I've never really been a singles man. I think in concepts and ideas and full pictures. I don't like this single kind of thing. But I think with me and Morari, it'll serve to up the ante if we just tease. So we will drop singles, tracks together, and obviously he's on my project. But it'll be a while before, and I think it makes sense. I think we'll drop something when we're both at the peak of our powers, when people are really like, oh, we need to hear this. And he's smashing it, I'm doing my thing. So it'll come, but it won't be for a while. Yeah, you'll get snippets, but nah, you won't get the project anytime soon, I don't think.
I'll remain hopeful. I'll be patient. I'll remain hopeful that we see that project. We are here, of course, because you have a brand new album out. Trial by Fire is out everywhere right now. All that's left to do is for you to introduce whichever song off of the project that you want to introduce to your listeners and our listeners here. I know which one I'd go for if I'm honest.
Really, I'm curious. I'll be real. I think the artist's personal favorite is almost never what the crowd like. My personal favorite project on this is Still Pimping. And that's because for me, my best work is always the work that captures exactly what I want to say or exactly what my experience is like to the T. And again, that comes from me having a poetic background where for me, the best poets is like, I know you've managed to distill so much feeling, emotion, experience into this, and this is exactly what it is. And Still Pimping for me is like my whole experience with women is captured in totality in that song. Like that's exactly where I'm at. So that's my personal favorite. And I love the production as well. And that producer actually, I'm about to lock in with him over summer. He did Block Boy and Still Pimping. We're gonna lock in over summer and I'm gonna do that whole one producer take, which I've never done. And I'm really excited about. I feel like it's time for me to just lock in, completely cohesive, build something from the ground up. So yeah, Still Pimping is my one. And on the other end, The Fire, which is the outro, and it was not actually the original outro. I had an outro that was slightly different, but I was kind of something about it wasn't. I was like, it's not right, and it's not that it was great in terms of the rap, but again, it felt like a rap for rap's sake song, and I'm like, I could drop this, and it's really flary, it's me, I'm going in, the flow's crazy, the pocket's crazy, but I'm not really saying anything. And I was on the plane back from my family holiday, um, from Italy, and I was actually listening to Marie, so I quickly downloaded Marino's project, Hands Off, just before I went on the plane. It's no, I don't think there's any secret. Marino is my favorite rapper from the scene, so I was listening to that project, and I just had this instant spark, and I had this beat lying around from Tony, and I was just next to my little sister. I was just playing it, and boom! I didn't even write it. I just rapped in the plane. And my sister was like, "What are you doing?" And that was how the fire ended up happening. And for me, that was like, okay, I'm glad I got a song on the record that is introspective. I felt like it's just a dose of it was missing, because I know Trial by Fire is not intro. You don't really get much in terms of my emotion. It's very external facing. But the fire again was one of those songs I'm like, this really tells you where I'm at with everything right now, and it's so current. It's the last song that was done, so the fire is still pimping. Am I too?
4x4 in a blacked out Beamer, you know, like that. 4x4 and we got that heater, you know, like that. And with bro, he just hit a screamer, you know, like that. And that's just normal procedure, you know, like that.